Welcome back to the Sam Acho podcast, a place where we go first, we give space, and we grow hope. We talk about faith, family, football, and finances. This show features Cliff Marshall every week, but Cliff, we have a special guest this week.
Davion Taylor's here with us today, Sam. I call him DT, but man, he's truly one of a kind. And I'm so excited that everybody out there listening gets to hear his courageous story. Not only is he a great man of faith, but he's a professional football player. And his story is incredible because he wasn't able to play high school football on Friday nights. He grew up down in Mississippi. He was a Seventh-day Adventist, which prevented him from playing football on the weekends. However, he had such a love for the game that he decided to go the JUCO route. And after 2 years in JUCO, he got a full ride offer to the Colorado Buffaloes, where he became a standout. And lo and behold, the NFL found out about Davion Taylor, and he became a third-round draft pick to the Philadelphia Eagles after not playing high school football. DT, we're going to hear more about this story, but thank you for joining us here on the Sam Acho podcast today.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me today. I'm excited to share my story and just be a part of the podcast.
Yeah, let's hop right into it. So tell me, growing up as a Seventh-day Adventist, for those who are listening out there that may not know what that religion is, can you explain to us a little bit about your upbringing in that faith?
Okay, and I want to just make a little correction there. It's not really Seventh-day Adventist. The Seventh-day Adventist is just the best to compare it to. We're called the Commandment Keepers. So,
Okay.
so what's the difference? I mean, it's really basically the same, but the main thing is that we keep the Sabbath day. What the Sabbath day is in the Ten Commandments that the seventh day of the Sabbath day, keep it holy. But we believe that the Sabbath day started when the sun go down on Friday night. So that 24 hours when the sun go down on Friday night to Saturday when the sun go down, we have to keep that whole 24 hours holy and just keep it just a day of rest. So Saturday we go to church. Like once that sun go down, you can't cook, you can't clean, you can't do any work. It's just a day of rest. Can't do anything but just focus on God and just give him all the time. And like that affected when I just me playing football because as Friday nights is when high school football is being played. So I was not able to play because of that religion and because I had to spend those 24 hours truly dedicating it to God.
What did those 24 hours look like? I mean, I'm imagining growing up and the sun goes down. What happens when the sun goes down, but also like in the next day as well?
So once the sun go down, for one, before the sun go down, we gotta make sure what we're gonna eat for the next day is already cooked, is already packaged. We gotta make sure our clothes are already earned and hung up, ready for church the next day. And then like so when ever that sun go down, we'll probably be eating dinner. And that point, as soon as that time when that sun is no longer visible, we have to switch it to Christian movies. Probably watching a Christian movie for a night or Christian something Jesus faith, base faith. And then the next morning we'll get up, have breakfast, which is already like pre-packaged. If it's a sandwich or something that's already been cooked for that day, and then just start getting ready for church, go to church, and then for like 2 hours, come back home, probably go into prayer a little bit sometimes, and then just finish the rest of the day just watching movies or Christian movies and stuff, just sitting around, just giving your body just fully resting until that sun go down for at the end of the day on Saturday.
DT, I want to camp out there just for a moment because the Bible's clear. We need a Sabbath day, right? And in the Christian faith, I feel like a lot of Christians, we don't give ourselves that Sabbath day, right? We work or we're busy or we're occupied 7 days out of the week. I can speak right now from having 2 kids that are playing like AAU basketball and travel baseball. It's like Sunday's supposed to be the Sabbath day, but you're traveling after church to a baseball game or a basketball game. Sam, what do you think about how do we keep the Sabbath day holy?
And I love that question, Cliff, because so often you say work as if it depends on you and pray as if it depends on God. But sometimes we work as if God doesn't even exist. So it's like, I got to do it all by myself because I can't let this thing go because if I let it go, it's not going to get done. Whereas if you look at even the creation story in Genesis, like God created everything in 6 days. On the seventh day, God rested. And so I think even with me, like, cause I feel you, I'm like, man, like whether it's kids or work or ESPN, it's like, well, man, I got a Monday or I got a Sunday or on Saturday, I'm doing these things. But the times where I have honored and kept the Sabbath holy, like not running around and working and hey, I'm gonna what do they say? Burn the midnight oil or whatever. It's like, God, I'm gonna give it to you. God has always shown up. And so I think it just goes back to that peace and understanding that, okay, I know that in my mind, I feel like I got to do all these things, but I'm actually trusting God to do it for me to fight my battles.
Well, I want to ask you, DT, Sam, and I'm with you on that. DT, as you graduate high school, you go to junior college, you begin playing football. How did you at that point continue to keep a Sabbath day, so to speak, even though you were playing football now in college?
So I always go back to the day I actually made the team when I was playing in junior college. That summer, it was over, I want to say 150 walk-ons, 150 people trying out besides the people they already had signed to scholarships. And it came down to, I feel like just one night. After trying out the whole summer, they moved me from a defensive back tryout to a linebacker, and I didn't even know what an A gap, B gap was. So I was just turned it in my head. I kind of wasn't gonna make the team, but just having that faith that I was gonna make the team. And then I got on my knees the night before final cuts, and I prayed to God, if it's meant for me to make this team, let me make this team. And I would just honor him the whole time I'm going to be playing. If it's not meant for me, don't let me make this team. So, and the next day, I think it was two other guys. One of the guys ended up getting hurt, and the other one just ended up quitting. So, like, they didn't have no choice but to pick me. So I feel like at that moment, in my head, I believe that God, for one, answered my prayer. And then for one, he gave me permission, not only like to play on the Sabbath day, but like if I want to play on the Sabbath day, I want to play on these Saturdays because college is played on Saturdays. Just making sure I'm honoring him as I'm doing it. Like I'm on the field, I want to make sure I'm honoring him every single time I step on the field. I'm making sure I'm walking by faith. I'm walking by, even though I'm not truly resting my body, I'm resting my soul, I'm resting my mind, and just trusting in him the whole time I'm on the field.
Yeah, that's so good. I think about even me, like growing up, like Sundays was church, Sundays with family, we'd rest. And then all of a sudden you get to the NFL and it's like I'm playing on Sundays. So I was like, even me, like, what do I do? I want to play in the NFL. And like what do I do? And so for me, when I looked about Sabbath, it was like, okay, what is a day of rest? Like, what is that day? For me, it ended up being Tuesdays when I played. Tuesdays was usually our off day, so we'd play a game on Sunday, we'd come in, watch film and work out and do a flush on Mondays, and Tuesdays was our day off. And I really tried to honor that day off. A lot of people would go into the facility and do all this extra stuff. I would honestly like wake up, go to my little closet in my little apartment or townhouse, like read the word of God, just rest, like wouldn't get up early, right? And just chill. And yeah, I might go and maybe I might go to the facility and get in a cold tub or hot tub or something like that. Right. But I try to really use that day to rest. And I really do believe God honored that. Even when I played, Coach and Davion, like everyone's like, man, Wednesdays your body is sore and Thursdays and like my body honestly felt great for a majority of my career. Of course, there were some injuries here and there, but who knows? Maybe that's the way that God made me, or maybe it was really trying to honor that Sabbath day. For me, it wasn't Sunday, it was Tuesday. There was a young adult service in Phoenix called Phoenix One that I would go to on Tuesday nights as well. So, yeah, for me, even my time in the NFL, it was also really interesting to know even that freedom you talked about, Davion, of man, you're free to be able to say, hey, honor me with your body.
Well, hey, DT, obviously, as pro athletes and coaches, it's often said no days off. And I would tell you, and I would say to our audience, no days off is not biblical. We need a Sabbath day. We need a day of rest. And this is a great reminder talking to you today about your upbringing. As you get there to Colorado, man, you prove yourself. And by the time you're a senior in college, you were on NFL draft boards. You were got NFL teams talking about drafting you and top 100 picks. Can you walk me through that journey from the time you were at Colorado all the way up until the day of the draft? Because the draft is actually this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah, it actually is. Like going into my senior year, I knew I was going to have a good year. But as I was like starting to play, I feel like that's when the confidence started to come. So like just playing every single day, playing every single week, but building that confidence, and now just seeing that the interest starting to come. Agents are starting to call me. People are starting to tell me that you might get drafted this round, this round. But during the season, I tried to focus on the season my senior year, which it was kind of hard because like definitely when you know you're going to get drafted, when the agents start calling in, you all have all these outside factors that might come into play. I was just trying to focus on my senior season. So I finished my senior season, ended up being real great. Ended up being second team All Pac-12. Wasn't the first team, but still was a huge accomplishment for me, for somebody who never played a game of football. And then so I ended up signing with an agent after that. And then this is when the combine prep that down into play. And the combine prep was just, I already knew I was going to be an explosive athlete because the one thing about me, I ran track in college as well. So I was always fast. I was always explosive. So I knew I was going to test well. But my biggest thing was like, how well was I going to test? So I remember the first day coming in and just doing my pre-testing and just running to the 40-yard dash. That was my biggest thing in my head, just having a good 40. Ran my 40-yard dash and just seeing all the coaches and everything that was there first day. They're already turning their heads, talking to each other, and they was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna run good." They didn't even tell me what I was running at first. They just was just telling me like it was good numbers. So eventually, they told me that like I got a chance to run the high 4.3s, and I was excited for that. And I just trained my butt off during combine training, made sure I just stayed focused, did everything I needed to do, and then went to the combine. I actually got to have the combine experience. Went to the combine. I feel like I still had came out top 5 and everything. Ended up doing the broad jump, jumped to 10.7, did the vertical jump to 35, ran the 40-yard dash, had ran a 4.4 both tries, which was still good for a linebacker. Ran a 4.4, like I said, it was top 5, but I was disappointed in my performance because I let the bright lights get to me. So on the stage, I had ended up losing all my form, all my technique I was taught during my combine training. Once I got to the combine, and I just felt like I was disappointed, even though the numbers was good, even though it did boosted my draft stock, getting in the top 5 as linebackers. I felt like I could do better, and I knew I could do better because I was testing the way better during my prep. So a couple of days went by. One good thing about us, our pro day was 2 or 3 days after the combine. So I knew I was still feeling fresh, still had the body. Still having the feel, and didn't have to wait too long after the combine. So I flew home, got back to work for the last couple of days, then went back home to my pro day. And one thing about my pro day, I knew I felt home. I felt like it was going to be good. And I went through my prep before every game, before every practice. I was just walk the field, pray to God, just ask for just a great day. And then as I was doing my warm up, I just felt light. Like when you just know you're about to run a good time, or you just know you're feeling good. I felt light as a feather, and I was just happy. I was smiling the whole time because I knew today was going to be my day. I started with the vertical. I ended up getting a 36, 1 inch higher. Broad jump was still about the same. And then a 40-yard dash came. Like as soon as I got on my prep, I did my little jump, do a little prep. I did jump, and I was just started smiling because I knew what was coming. Then I got in my stance, went through my routine I usually go through, and I ran one time, and I just heard everybody on the side. Like my brother was able to come, my sister-in-law, then a whole bunch of friends and family came, and like I just heard everybody in the stands cheering because everybody was timing their fall. And then even though then I just knew I had ran. I went to the side, everybody was like, "You got a 4.3." And after that, I just literally just took off my cleats. Like I just took off my cleats because it was just truly a good experience just to feel just all the work come to just be accomplished. And then I just never forget, I was surrounded by the media and everything. Everybody got the interviews. And even then I knew I boosted up my stock. But then after that, I got the combine prep done. Combine in the pro day. Now it was just that waiting game and come. Of course, here comes the draft. Day 1 went by. I knew I wasn't gonna be drafted first round. You can always pray and wish, but I wasn't projected first round, so still watched it. Had family over, we watched it. But day 2 I was projected at this point. I want to say low 5th round, maybe high 4th. But I was just praying that I was gonna get in that day 2. So it came down to it. Round 2 had flew by, and then of course the round 3 had started to go. As round 3 started to go, that was my legs started to shake, started to fidget a little bit because I'm like, come on, God, let me just get picked. Let me just I want to ask for one more miracle. And then I was just sitting there. The numbers just kept going. And then it got to, I want to say, to 100. It got to 100. I think it was like the last 5 picks left. I'm like, I haven't got no call yet. But I'm like, come on, guys, please, please. Now I never forget. I think it was pick 101. The Patriots was on the clock. And I got a phone call. And I was thinking it was the Patriots because like it was a number that I didn't recognize and everything. And then I remember I answered the phone. Everybody was quiet. And we was looking just, all right, who it is? I started smiling and then got into it. It was like, all right, this is Jeffrey. This is how Roseman with the Eagles. And like, we're gonna pick you with our next fit. And I was smiling and stuff. I didn't want to show it to everybody yet. I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I remember I hung up the phone and told everybody, and it was just an eruption. Everybody was just cheering for me and everything. Still didn't feel real yet. And then I remember I was sitting down watching the TV and then actually seeing my name get called and my name go across the screen. And then everybody just a family hugging me, congratulating me. And then my phone just started to blow up. My phone just started to blow up. I literally had to cut my phone off to turn it off completely because there was just so many people calling and congratulating me. And I just remember just after I just cheered and everything, cheered everybody, I just went in the kitchen and I just started crying, just thanking God and just crying because for one, I just went from just knowing my journey, just going from not playing the high game of high school football, just trusting that answered prayer when I did make the team in junior college and making it all the way to the NFL. I just couldn't help but just let all the emotions come out because I knew it was nobody but God. Yes, I did my part of working hard, like making sure I'm taking care of my body, but by him answering that prayer and me making it all the way, I can't do that alone without his help.
What a testimony, DT. And did you end up going on with the Eagles and playing and making a Super Bowl?
Yeah, we made it to the Super Bowl. That year, I was on practice squad that year because a lot of things happened when I did get in the NFL, but I was just thankful to say I made it because, like I said, never even thought I was going to make it that far. So I'm just thankful to even just step my foot on the field and even be able to be a starter, not even just play, because I was eventually became a starter in the NFL. A lot of people can't even say that. So I was just thankful just to have the time I had when I did play.
DT, we talked a lot on this podcast about adversity and overcoming adversity. You shared so much, and it seems like there's these hurdles or obstacles that you've had to overcome at different levels of football, high school, collegiately, professionally. What's the story you can share about overcoming adversity in your life and how it changed the man that you are today?
I'll say probably it happened when I was actually in the NFL. My first year going to the NFL, I kind of battled some injuries. I came to training camp, hurt my hamstring, was out for a week or two, which wasn't too bad, but still like just being hurt my first training camp, my first rookie year, it kind of was just disappointing. Made it through the season though, started the season. This was COVID year as well, so it was a little bit different than the usual years. Got to play like the first 12 games on special teams, got a little rotation in on defense here and there. But then after my 12th game, I ended up tearing my MCL. And I think that was the biggest adversity in my life simply because it was my first injury ever of having to miss games. Like I said, I played 4 years in college, in junior high school, like when I did play in JV, they didn't really count and I never got hurt then. So like having my first injury come at the professional level, it took me down a dark path. I got depressed and everything. I think that's probably the biggest adversity simply because, like I said, never been hurt. And then it was just hard on me mentally, just having to go up in there and not being able to practice, not being able to play in the games, being able to help the team. And then I had got really down mentally. But one thing I can say that helped me was just for one prayer, just trusting that God was going to bring me back like better than ever. My family just helped me a little bit, like when I did go through those depressed moments. Because one thing about like from Mississippi and I was in Philly, I was thousands of miles away from home. So like family wasn't really there. So I just really just kind of was dealing with some of the stuff on my own sometimes. And I feel like that can be kind of bad. And then one other thing that I'll say that kind of didn't help with the depression. And I didn't realize the NFL was such a business until I got hurt because like all the coaches that was caring about you when I'm playing good, GM talking to you every day, but soon as I had the injury, the coaches, I mean, and I wouldn't say move on, but they still had a season to play, which is understandable now as I'm old and I've learned about the business side of the NFL. But I feel like they didn't help with the depression, not seeing the coaches. I wouldn't say care. I wouldn't say they didn't care about me, but they didn't show the careness. Like I was just sitting in the wait up in the training room sometimes, seeing the GM walk in, don't even speak to me, or sometimes the coaches not even texting me like they used to text me. So didn't battle that. But like I said, God really helped me come past that time. And then when it comes to the next year though, just actually maturing and actually getting better from last year, God helping me mentally. The next year I ended up getting hurt again, coming to training camp, ended up tearing my calf, but came back. When I did come back, I can say I came back stronger, ended up starting for like a couple games after that before I end up having a season-ending injury again. But I just say, just going from that first year to second year, that was my biggest adversity, and just learning how to trust God through that adversity helped me when it came to my second year when I got hurt, or things that happened on like later on in life after that. It helped me. But besides that, that was the biggest thing I had to make it through. But I couldn't. I can't say I wouldn't have gotten through it without God's help and just helping me mentally and just helping me get past that.
What an incredible journey. Have you shared DT a number of times here about where you prayed to God? I would say you cried out to God, right? When you were in junior college, you cried out to God Lord, if you want me to play football, help me to make this team. Let me make the final cut.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, you're at draft day. The third round is coming to a close. You cried out to God. You prayed to God, Lord, give me this opportunity to go on day two. He answered that prayer. Now you're in the NFL and you're battling depression because of injuries and you're in and out of the lineup and on practice squad and off the practice squad. And it's just a journey of where prayer is constant conversation with God. And I'm encouraged by hearing your story because I know the authenticity of your prayers and how you've wrestled with those prayers over the course of your career. I would ask you, how are you praying to God now at this stage in your life?
It's more now and more of just thanking him for everything. Like thanking him for the future, thanking him for the things I've been to, thanking him for adversity. Like I'm going through something now, I thank him for it. Like I don't even ask God why anymore because I feel like that was my biggest thing when I was younger. Is like, why God? Why am I going through this? Why am I doing this? But now, let's say if I battle something, like, thank you, God, because I feel like I'm become a better man through this. And then I feel like that's the biggest thing, just thanking him instead of asking why. Because if I ask why, I don't know why I question because you figure out why later on in life. But when you're going through it, sometimes you might not see, you might not understand. But when you get out of the path or out of the dark tunnel, you always figure out why he brought you through that, and you always feel like you're coming out a better man.
Mm. Davion, Cliff talked about how does your prayer life look now? I would even say, what are those things that you're thanking God for now in advance?
Mm. Right now, it's probably just thanking him because, like, I have a dream of going back in the NFL. So, like, it's thanking him, good, just thanking him already that I'm already back in there. Like, right now, actually, I got to text my agent to see, like, right now, he's telling me, like, no teams are saying anything. But as soon as I got that text, I'm like, thank you, God. Because, like, when it does happen, it's a miracle. Like, when it does happen, I know it's him. So, like, right now, it's just thanking him. Even if it doesn't happen, it's just thanking him in advance for the NFL. And, like, right now, when it comes to coaching, just thanking him that I'm about to be a great coach. Like, right now, I learned so much from Coach Cliff, meeting Coach Cliff from this past year. Now, so I'm just thanking him for that and just thanking him for what's going to come in the future. And now just as a man, just thanking him for becoming a better man in general. So just thanking him for everything, just thanking for everything that he's going to do in my life that I don't even know about.
Mm.
Man, I love that, DT. Oftentimes, when bad things happen, we ask God why. And to your point, I've also learned to stop asking why. Instead, I ask God, what are you trying to teach me through this hardship? And to your point, we have to live life forwards to understand it backwards. So I love your perspective and just your outlook, not only on football, but on life. I do want to talk quickly about life after football because just like Sam, eventually you have to put the shoulder pads and the helmet up. And obviously, watching Sam and his journey after being in the NFL for nearly a decade, and now he's working with ESPN and has so many other great things going. Most importantly, he's a husband and a great father.
Yeah.
I want to know, DT, for you, what does the next chapter after football look like for you? What are your goals and aspirations?
For one, just become the best coach I want to be. Like I've always wanted to be a personal trainer, even when I was in high school before. Like, I feel like I had a dream to play in the NFL. Like I've always loved to work out. I've always loved to help people get better. If that's like so, like my biggest thing is just having a way to help people, not only just personally, but like over like without being there as well. Like as that person's training aspect, but also as in life. Right now, I'm working with athletes in this personal training journey. I want to just continue just expand that and just continue to have it grow because I just love seeing athletes just become better. Not only like I said, not only as an athlete, but also in life. And that's why I like the personal training aspect better than just being on a team aspect. Knowing I can touch, I feel like I can help more people as a team. But I feel like when I have that one-on-one, I can talk to you more for an hour and get to know you more. And I feel like I can affect you more just being just with you and instead of just being with a full team. Eventually, I don't know what God has planned, but as of now, it's just becoming the best personal trainer I can be and coach I can be. And then wherever that leads me from there, I can't say.
Well, DT, before we let you go, and Sam, I got to say this. This year, I was blessed to train about 25 NFL draft prospects at D1 Sports in Nashville, Tennessee. And if DT wasn't there with me, we could not have pulled it off. He did an incredible job. as a coach, a trainer, a mentor. He was in the weight room with the guys, but he was also on the field working with the D line and linebackers. I mean, he was in the trenches every single day. And I know all of those 25 NFL draft prospects, they benefited from being around DT. Our motto there, as my hat says, is iron sharpens iron. DT, he sharpened those players and he also sharpened me. So thank you, DT. Appreciate everything that you do there at D1.
Thank you very much.
And DT, thank you so much for joining the Sam Acho podcast. Man, we're so grateful. We got a chance to connect when I was at D1 not too long ago and hearing some of your story, but thank you for coming on again and sharing your story. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, of course. Thank you guys for having me as well.
Awesome. And thank y'all so much for listening to the Sam Acho podcast featuring Cliff Marshall. We can't wait to see you soon.